Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Formula Worldwide Leagues presents the Wednesday Throwdown F1 series around Belgium, and we're already getting some action here as TV1 man was on a hot lap, and his teammate, leaving to warm his tires, rams right into him, so we're already getting some spicy things going on. Apologize for the late start. I kind of lost track of time, and well, let's just say I didn't really know what time it was, so, well, we're here now. And it's time for a great race around the beautiful Spa-Francochamps. One of my favorite tracks to watch races on. Grip around here is going to be something the drivers are going to be hunting for and trying to find, as conditions, while they are always changing around this circuit, grip is something even more changing. Always extremely difficult, whether you have a good setup or not, to find the right range for peak grip and peak performance of your car, as we can see already just on this first lap of Q1. A lot of cars very, very loose as it stands. So we will be watching along with Von Bambaldi, or Von Bombadil, as I believe he is on a hot lap. I'll try to figure out everything that is going on as we're going. Prem goes fastest with a 143.616, the benchmark to beat at the moment. And what is Von Bombadil going to be able to do as he comes across the line here for the start or the end of his first lap? It's going to be a 149.6, so something wasn't very happy with his car there on that lap. Not the best time so far. Who knows? He might have had some issues. Let's hop on board here with SRT Silencer. Has had some very good performances in the Wednesday Throwdown F1 series so far this season. Looking to have another one here around Spa. Last week's winner of the Wednesday Throwdown F1 series, Deffy, not competing tonight, as if he was here, he would have already set the pole lap and probably retired his car on the front straight. He won last weekend by 47 seconds as Silencer comes across the line to make it a Haas 1-2 at the moment with a 143.102. But Deffy won last weekend by 47 seconds. Quite an impressive drive from him. We saw him actually race in the Friday Night Lights series as well. Started on pole there, but after some unfortunate circumstances ended up DNFing in the race. So quite unfortunate for Deffy's debut in Friday Night Lights, but here we are with the WTF series as we're on board with Scarthers out on his first flying lap. At this point, drivers that have not completed one of their laps yet will most likely only have time for 2 quality laps, since this track is the longest on the circuit and it's so difficult to get 3 really good laps in if you don't go out pretty much right away at the start, where you're going to be battling the car for grip, battling the other cars coming out of the pits, and then you'll probably run into some traffic as you come out of your out lap with people coming into their hot laps. Looking at the standings, Bukowski goes P3 provisionally with a 143.519 yen. His teammate goes P6 with a 145.082. Jim Cab, our man, in the booth. Just kidding. That's Ted Kravitz on FNL. Goes 5th with a 144.792. Scarthers seemingly now starting his first lap. Junior Correa goes 2nd with a 143.326. So things are already getting spicy as it stands here, as we are still right on board here with Scarthers going through Eau Rouge, up over Radion, and onto the Kemmel Straight. And he is not on a lap, so let's hop elsewhere and see what we've got going on the circuit. Z-Manners, who was not on a quality lap there with a 203.1. This should be his hot lap here. Let's ride on board here with him. No, he doesn't have the DRS open. He's going for another fuel burn lap. Okay, so we've got a lot of people, and as I say that, King Hamilton taking his tour of the grass in that McLaren. Such a great looking car that McLaren is. Absolutely gorgeous papaya. We'll now hop in with the TV1 man, who we saw get kind of annihilated by his teammate. TV1 Man was on his first flying lap just a few minutes ago, and his teammate, warming his tires, managed to run right into the front of the TV1 Man and end that run very quickly. So that's a scrubbed set of tires right off the bat. As we will ride on board here with TV1 Man for the start of this lap. What is he going to be able to do? The man who's trying to make his way back to the Friday Night Lights series. He was there last year, so had to serve a season ban for penalty points. Has had some decent performances so far in WTF. We will see if he's able to continue having points finishes. Out of turn one, good exit, flat through a roof, maybe a light lift up over Radion and onto Kemmel Straight. One of the most important exits on the track, because this straight is just so high speed. You have to maintain as much speed as you can coming through Radion and carry the minimum speed here through Lake Home. So difficult to really nail a lap around this track, especially to do it in one go. Just with the interchanging grip, other cars around you. There's so many different variables. Especially on a long track like this, a lot of places you can lose a lot of time, but also a lot of places you can gain a lot of time. So we will see what TV1 Man is going to be able to put up. The benchmark right now is a 143.1 set by the Haas of SRT Silencer, making his return to Formula Worldwide Leagues. Was a member of Team... I believe he was a member of Team Ferrari last season. It was either Ferrari or Red Bull, I believe, last season, but he was unable to compete most of the end of the season. Quite unfortunate for him, but he's back. He's performing, and he's having some fun out here. Top on board with Scarthers, looking to complete a quick lap, see what he can put on the board. Coming through the final sector into the bus stop chicane. We're going to see a lot of action coming into this chicane. This is one of those ones where things get very, very hairy very, very quickly. And Scarthers comes across the line, and he does not improve. Quite interesting to say the least, but who knows, as KDM comes across the line for a 143.184, and Marzi taking his jump to the front of the grid provisionally with 143.081. The top three separated by just over a tenth. The top six separated by about 6/10 as Refractor goes P7. He was already on P7, my apologies. Legacy, I believe. Yes, Legacy went P9 with a 144.533. So if you got enough time, depending on when people win out, you should be able to get 2 runs in if you just fly on your out lap and then immediately go get a good lap in and then run it back to the pits. You may have enough time to complete 2 more laps. So far, very unfortunate qualifying session here for the TV1 Man. Not only did he have his first lap ruined by his teammate very early, just in the Kemmel Straight, his second lap he invalidated. So he has yet to put a lap time up. He's going to be hoping to put something good out on the track. Because starting in the back here, wow, there's plenty of shenanigans that can happen to cause a lot of chaos and really make it an advantage for people behind if they can keep their nose clean. You still don't want to be starting too far at the back of the grid, especially with guys like Silencer, who's been really fast. Bukowski, he's been extremely quick in these WTF races, so we'll see what we are going to be able to, what kind of action we're going to have as the cars are starting to bunch up a little bit in Sector 3. This is pretty expected. Scarthers peeling off to the side, and we will hop on board with Vom Bom Badel in the Papaya. And validated his out lap, but we'll see what he's able to do on his second flying lap. Get my telemetry going here as we ride on board with him, heading to Eau Rouge. Completely flat, maintaining as much minimum speed as you can through the apex, over Radion, and then on to the Kemmel Straight. Really trying to maximize the amount of speed these cars can get going through this section of the track, and then very difficult chicane coming up in Lecomte. Very easy to bottom out the car on those massive curbs and really lose a lot of time there. But Bon Bon Beetle takes it pretty cleanly. And then into the downhill right-hander. Very easy to lose the rear end coming through this corner. Depending on what kind of setup you've got on, also very easy to have a lot of understeer through that corner and lose so much time. But he's kept it together quite nicely. Don't know how he didn't invalidate that there. That's pretty impressive, if I'm going to be honest. But either way, he's managing to hold his lap together. We'll see where he's going to be able to put himself on the board. So far, not seeing many improvements. Jim Cab has improved to P9 with a 144.291, looking to put his Ferrari a little further up the grid on his last flying lap. Our cockpit cam legend, Jim Cab. But we stay on board here with Bon Bon Beetle as he comes through the bus stop. What kind of time is he going to be able to put up as DRS Open? He comes to the line, and it's going to be P10 with a 144.3. So just slotting in behind the man of the hour, Jim Cab. Let's ride along with somebody else. Yen is going through some grass. Let's ride on board with King Hamilton and the other Papaya McLaren. Junior Correa in his Williams will come across the line and set the provisional pole lap with 3 minutes remaining at a 143.079. Silencer on an out lap. Marzi just coming out of the pits for an outlap. Bukowski and Riffractor also coming out, so they're looking to try and beat the time set by Junior Correa. 2 1,000ths of a second faster than Marzi. So seemingly we might be seeing a low 142 to be pole around the circuit today. Obviously, I do not have much information on the track conditions in terms of temperature or what's going on in terms of weather, so we might get something spicy. It might turn out to be an extremely wet day here in Belgium. Never really make things interesting. It'd be like the real F1 out there, but we will see as King Hamilton is coming through the final sector. Easy flat all the way up to the bus stop chicane. What is he going to be able to do? Currently running P15. Comes through the bus stop pretty cleanly, and he's going to open the DRS and come across the line. What is it going to be? It's only going to be P14 with a 144.9. So he does improve, but not too much. Let's take a look and see. Silencer is out on a lap. Let's hop on board with him. Going through turn 1. Is he going to be able to beat the time of Junior Correa or from THR Marzi and be able to put his Haas on pole position? Pretty clean throw Rouge and Radeon down to the Kemmel Straight. DRS Open, giving him that extra 10 to 12 extra miles an hour of pace. As we have yellow flags everywhere of people either moving off the road for other drivers or just trying to prepare themselves for their lap as best as possible. As we are in the final moments of this qualifying session, so we will see who's able to put it on the front row, who's going to hook their lap up the best, and who's going to be, unfortunately, starting at the rear of the grid. One man we're going to be keeping our eye on is going to be TV1 man, who just started his hot lap. He invalidated one lap and got one lap completely ruined by his teammate to start this qualifying session, so he's going to have one shot to try and put himself up near the front of the grid. Z-Man, as I see, has jumped up to P6 with a 143.239. We have people retiring that won't be able to get out for a race or for another lap. Silencer set a purple middle sector, so he is absolutely flying. What is he going to be able to do coming through the final sector here? He's got one set of turns left to make in the bus stop chicane. Is he going to be able to hold it together? Is he going to be able to put that Haas on the front row? We will see coming out of the chicane. Keeps it very clean, tight, and tidy. DRS Open. He comes to the line. And it's provisional pole with a 142.299 for Silencer. 0.8 up the next highest driver. Everybody not on a lap at this moment is out of qualifying. And we were talking about TV1 Man. It seems as though he's either had some kind of an issue or he invalidated, and he is going to start from P17. Dragons, TV1 Man, and Ellie unable to set lap times. Let's see who else is on a lap. Junior Correa has invalidated his. Marzi, what is he going to be able to do as he comes to the line? He's currently P3. He's going to go P2 with a 142.730. Bukowski, he's out of qualifying. He's done in P4. Junior Correa invalidated his lap, so he's not going to be improving. KDM, I believe, is the next one to be completing a lap. Or is that Prem? Let's hop on board with Scarthers next across the line in the Alfa Romeo. Currently P9. What is he going to be able to do? Out of the bus stop, chicane down the front straight, little wiggle on the exit. Coming to the line, and he's going to remain P9. So we'll ride on now with KDMXDKZ. Keeping it tidy through the bus stop. Maybe a little wide coming out of there. What is he going to be able to put on the board as Ajax comes across the line for P16? And KDM, he puts his Alpine on the front row with a 142.518. Good qualifying from him. He'll be starting right alongside SRT Silencer unless Prem can do something about it in his Haas. And he will jump ahead of Riffractor. Last year's Wednesday Throwdown F1 champion. But Prem will remain in P8. And I believe that is everybody that is on a lap done. We're going to have some exciting racing here tonight around Spa. As we come back to you in a moment for the start of the race. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and as I mentioned, the great equalizer in Formula One. This is a absolute downpour here in Belgium. We have a full wet race on our hands. Drivers will be absolutely crawling off the line. So we're going to either see a whole bunch of incidents or we're going to see a whole bunch of hot racing action, as the Donut Puncher would say on FNL. Quick little view of the podium up in the top of your screen. A beautiful podium overlooking the front straight and the pit lane. Let's take a quick gander at the starting grid one more time before we jump into the race. There's no formation lap on, as Codemasters still can't seem to figure out how to put a formation lap in that actually works. So the grid as it stands, starting from the back, we have Ellie in the final row by herself, since there are an odd number of cars with 19 in today's race. On the next row, TV1 Man unable to set any kind of a lap time next to Ajax. Moving forward, Yen and King Hamilton, Crazy Carter and Legacy Gaines, Von Bombal Deal and Jim Cab. Going up into the top 10. In the fifth row, we have the two Alfa Romeos, Scarther and Riffractor. Next row, Prem and the Haas able to put a good lap up there in P8. Z-Manor starts in 7th. Bukowski looking for another good finish in the Mercedes in 6th. Junior Correa on provisional pole at one point, but drops to P5. Dragons in the Alpine starting in 4th, with Marzi in the Alpha Tauri starting P3. And then our front row, KDMX DKZ starting 2nd, right behind the Haas of SRT Silencer starting on pole. With the wet conditions and the interesting track conditions today, with all the rain, Silencer's going to be looking to get the best start he can just so he can ensure that lead into turn 1. Hoping and praying for some hot racing action. Hoping and praying it dries out a little bit. Because right now it's a bit of a washout. And if you take a look down there in the Red Bull garage, they're even preparing another set of the full wet tires. So interestingly enough, if this rain persists like this and doesn't clear very well, we may end up seeing a red flag for racing conditions. Well, we hope that isn't the case, because we're looking for some hot racing action. It is very common around here. And here we go in Spa. It's 5 lights on ahead of the drivers, and it's foot to the floor and fly away here in Spa. Silencer does get away well. Marzi already jumping ahead of KDZ, and oh my goodness, we have cars on their side. That is a huge crash in the back of the grid, and that is a Haas on its roof. And oh my goodness, what happened on the front straight? Oh my word, we had cars flying on their sides. We have a full safety car, and we didn't even get out of turn 1. Holy, what a start to the Belgian Grand Prix here at Spa. As we had cars backwards, sideways, on their side. It's an absolute mess, and we already have a slew of penalties coming in. I saw at least 3 penalties for severe collisions. Surprisingly enough, though, we're not seeing a red flag for this. So interestingly enough, we will not have a red flag. Off the jump, TV1 man, I believe he was one of the ones involved, getting a 5-second penalty for having one of those collisions. As Bombadil he DNF'd under the safety car. Wonder if there's any kind of shenanigans going on there. And as you can see on your screen, the rain really coming down. Everybody on the extreme wet tires. Quite interestingly enough, though, with the Formula 1 game, unfortunately, we do not have the same thing that they do in the real F1, where we get a rolling start. So things like that don't happen in these full wet conditions. Especially around a track where grip is already hard to come by. Full wet conditions, no tire blankets on those wet tires as of this year. You're going to be coming in with some icy cold tires around an extremely wet track. And really going to be trying to fight and find any grip you can. Let's take a look through the field, see if we can find anybody with some major damage. I know for a fact there was at least a Ferrari, what looked like possibly an AlphaTauri, maybe a McLaren, getting into something. As we can see there, the Haas of Prem, he's missing a front wing. Crazy Carter missing a piece of that front wing end plate. Yen missing his whole front wing. Ellie doesn't seem to have any damage. She was somehow able to get out unscathed. Good for her. And TV1 man may have some damage, as you can just see how painful it is for these drivers just to put their foot down at all. Thank you, game, for some more tire strategies, as everybody is going to be staying on the full wets for the foreseeable future. I believe that's all the damage we have at the moment. But either way, carnage on lap 1 here in Spa, as we couldn't even get off the grid before we had cars spinning, smacking, tumbling, and even going up on their side, pinned up against the wall. Quite a crazy start indeed. Take a look just off of the start. Who was able to make up the most amount of places and who's the big losers? Big gainers I see are King Hamilton in the McLaren, coming up from 15th on the grid to 10th. Ajax 17th on the grid to 11th, so running well so far, able to dodge out on some of that carnage. Even after pitting, TV1 man is going to be 6 places up from starting in 19th. Ellie 4 places up from 18th. Big losers. Prem dropping 8 positions. Started in the top 10, now running 15th. Z-Manners, teammate of TV1 Man, dropping 6 places. Unfortunate for him. Dragon's the biggest loser in the top 10, losing 3 places off the starting carnage. So we will probably have one more lap behind the safety car, just to ensure there's no more issues on the track. Probably got to clear off some of that carbon fiber. What a start to this Grand Prix. That was something. I haven't seen a start that crazy since Yarno-Admir Open lobbies. Or I guess just open lobbies in general. That the race start looks like that. Might make a push on tracks like this to turn on ghosting for the first lap, but that would take away the true sim racing feel and the immersion of trying to get off the line, battling the car and battling everyone around you for track position, getting everybody trying to put their nose where it doesn't belong or where it does belong, and it seemingly more often than not ends up worse for wear. But it is beyond me or beyond anybody as of this point, because we have racing action soon to go back underway. As you can see, the lights on the safety car are still on, so we get one more lap behind the safety car. I am absolutely yawning. I want to see some cars, have some hot racing action. I don't want to see any more people flipping, flying, or anything like that. If you were watching the Tuesday Night Challenger Series race last night, we again saw cars getting air. I don't remember exactly who it was, but all I know is we saw the entire floor of a car being launched into the air. Right on this straight here coming out of turn 1, so we've already had carnage on the first lap, hence the reason we are under safety car here on lap 3. We've had one corner of racing action here at Spa, and the conditions seemingly are not getting any better. The rain is still coming down extremely heavily. If it lightens up, we'll see if anybody is brave and... Everybody's retiring under the safety car. Refractor's out of the race. That's 2 people. Nobody died from the crashes, but under the safety car, 2 people have DNF'd. Wonder if maybe there was contact between some people, or if they just lost control of the car. Why are we overtaking? As King Hamilton seems to have lost it. He did. He lost. They're just losing it under the safety car, folks. This is absolute madness at this point. We can't even drive under the safety car without people spinning. Unfortunately enough. We just want to see a good race. We want to see these cars go fighting wheel to wheel. Well, we might not at this point, seeing as how they couldn't even get off the line without having an incident. But I know the Donut Puncher will be happy rewatching this with all the hot racing action we're about to see. A great equalizer in Formula 1. Full wet conditions around Spa. A track known for being very high speed, very minimal downforce. So it makes you wonder, maybe some of these drivers really banked on having a good setup for quali and then just try to figure it out in the race. Or if some of these people took a bigger gamble, went for a little bit more downforce to sacrifice quali a little bit. But either way, the safety car is coming in this lap. We will pop up and ride on board here as the safety car goes flying through Sector 3 to get back into the pits and let these drivers go back to racing. Silencer pacing the field, anxiously waiting for the safety car to enter the pit lane so we can release the hounds and get back to hot racing action here in Spa for the WTF series. Into the bus stop chicane, and we will soon have racing action as here we go. We are going green again. Silencer leads coming out of the turn. Marzi, KDM in 3rd, Junior Correa in 4th, Bukowski 5th, Dragon 6th, Scarther 7th, and we already have some battling here. No, we don't. Never mind. I thought I saw something, but as we have cars going very wide in the end, Prem has lost places. Yen has made up a spot on the restart alone. And Silencer already out to a comfortable 7 7/10 lead as Scarthers seems to have gone wide. Yes, that was the Alfa Romeo of Scarthers, and he's now bumping wheels with Legacy, heading down into Eau Rouge, and they are both going to be able to stay on the track. My goodness, that was interesting, as there goes Scarthers. He loses it, and he spins coming out of Radion, and Jim Cab is retired from the race as well. And we have another full-blown safety car. We have had a grand total of 4 corners of racing under green flag conditions. This is exhilarating, folks. I don't even know where to go with this anymore. Watching cars drive behind the safety car is the reason I watch Formula One. My goodness. This is absolute mayhem. And we've only done 4 laps. We're in for the long haul here, folks. Ay caramba, ladies and gentlemen. At this point, it doesn't even make sense to really talk about the gains and losses, because at this point, you're gaining if you're not crashing, and if you are crashing, you're either out of the race or dropping. So, for example, we watched Scarthers lost it coming out of Radion, and he has dropped from starting in P9, running in P7, all the way down to P16. King Hamilton, we saw him have some issues under the safety car just a lap ago and lost any position he had all the way down to the back of the grid. But here we are, some more hot safety car action. Drivers crawling through these wet conditions, ensuring they don't drop under their delta. We don't want to see any penalties, because at this rate, the grid is going to be so bunched up. If you got a penalty, you're going to be dropping 5-6 positions, maybe even more, depending on how big the penalty is. Let's take a look at the penalties we have at the moment. Bukowski has a 5-second penalty, Z-Manners has a 5-second penalty, and Scarthers also has a 5-second penalty. I believe all 4 collisions, as speaking of collisions, Marzi nearly just ran right into the back of Silencer. That wouldn't have been very good for either of them, because Marzi surely would have picked up a penalty, possibly damage, and Silencer may have gotten some damage as well with the amount of speed that Marzi was carrying. And as I say this, again, we're looking at another car that's spun out under safety car. That's Prem. Prem spun out under the safety car. Maybe he was tapped. Is there any damage to his Haas? It looks like he might be missing an end plate. Yeah, you can see the front left end plate of his Haas is missing, so he's going to have to box for a new front wing and a new set of the extreme wet tires. We are absolutely loving the hot safety car action at the moment. If you guys are just joining us, you've missed some crashes, to say the least. On lap 1, as, again, another man behind the safety car spun out. TV1 man it is this time. He was running up through the field, making up some places after starting at the back of the grid, and he's spun out and blown it under the safety car. This is carnage. I can't even recap the race before somebody spins out. Under the safety car, no less. Premin! TV1 man just drove through one of the boards. Oh my goodness, what is going on? What is going on here in Belgium? So going back to recap the race again. Off the line, we had absolute carnage with about 4, 5, maybe 6 cars having major issues. We even saw what looked to be a Ferrari pinned up on its side against the wall with another car facing the wrong direction. Plenty of carbon fiber sprayed all over the front straight. Cars aplenty getting in issues. We were under safety car conditions before Silencer could even get into Eau Rouge. Silencers led the whole race, being, as we enter lap 6, 4 corners have been under green flag conditions, He is still the man who has led the race from the start. Marzi made up a place at the start. KDM also made up a place. I'm trying to remember who started in P2 as I look briefly at my document. Yes, KDM started on P2. He's dropped to 3rd. Marzi made up that place. Dragon's maintaining 5th. Sorry, he started in 4th. Junior Correa started in 5th. They both dropped 1 place, and Bukowski went from 6th to 4th. But hopefully soon we will see green flag racing for more than 4 corners, as Bukowski seemingly having some internet issues. Hopefully we can get those all fixed and taken care of. The Discord channel, if you guys are not already in it for the WTF series chat. Everyone is just talking about how there is no grip. The entire race at this point is seemingly going to be under safety car conditions. One man saying in the chat, mentioning that it arguably could be red flag conditions on the track. Unsure if that's going to come out or when it's going to come out. But we will see, because seemingly right now the FIA not looking to call for a red flag at this moment, as the safety car is going to come in this lap, and we are going to have racing action. We're not going to have any incidents. We're not going to go under the safety car again. Let's make it happen, boys. Let's see some hot racing action. Keeping it clean, keeping it out of each other's side pods, and we're going to go racing again. Maybe we'll get to the Lecomte chicane under green flag conditions so we can see some moves and we can see a full lap of racing action. Silencer leads the field through Sector 3 as he awaits the safety car to enter the pits and to release the dogs once again, as we will be going green here for the 3rd time in this race. Silencer will lead, the grid not changing much. Silencer will lead to the line for green flag again, ahead of Marzi, ahead of KDM, Bukowski, Dragons, and Junior Correa. Legacy moving up to the 7th place, Ajax in 8th, Ellie in 9th, and Yen rounding out the top 10. So far, not looking like there's much carnage. TV1 man making a move on King Hamilton there in the back of your screen. But Silencer ahead of Marzi, ahead of KDM after turn 1. No yellow flags so far. I do see cars seemingly going off. What do we have going on here? As we have 3 wide. We have 3 wide. Ellie ahead of Yen, ahead of Ajax, going into Eau Rouge and Radion. Are we going to have any incidents? Let's hop on board here with Yen and ride on his cars. He's going side by side with Ellie in the Ferrari. Are they going to touch? Are they going to come together? No, they're not. We do have a yellow flag, and it's TV1 man and King Hamilton. TV1 man and King Hamilton seem to have collided or had some kind of an incident. But as it stands, this is the deepest we've gotten into the race under any kind of green flag conditions. Riding on board now with the Williams of Junior Correa's Dragons and Bukowski. We're hopping on board with them. These two are battling it out. Going down the inside is Bukowski. Very dangerous in these conditions. You can watch as that Mercedes just slides the rear end, dancing, wanting to go pretty much wherever it pleases. And as we look at the back of the field, both of the Red Bulls are having issues as Dragons goes extremely wide, almost losing the car. Bukowski's going to take advantage of that and jump up into 4th place. The conditions out here are just so difficult. You can see how these drivers are just dancing with the car just to be able to keep it going in a straight line. Silencer has pulled out to a 9/10, maybe pushing to a 2nd lead. Marzi ahead of KDM, and then the gap between KDM and Bukowski, 3rd to 4th, is going to be about 3 seconds. As it stands, as Ellie and Ajax seem to be battling again. They're going side by side through Sector 3. Ellie is flat out, ERS open, big lift, big going wide. But she's going to maintain the position as it stands, and we have Yellow flags. Okay, no safety car as Ajax just sends it down the outside on Ellie. And Scarter's getting his nose in there. He wants a piece of the action. Silencer set the fastest lap with a 2-minute something. I wasn't looking at it. We've got hot racing action to watch. Scarter gets the moves done on Ajax. Is he going to make a look down the outside of Ellie into turn 1? No, he's parking his car there, and he goes very wide. He keeps it on track. And these two have become 4 as Prem's trying to get in on the action. Ajax went from P9 on the last lap. He's now in P12. Great racing so far. These drivers able to keep it next to each other as Scarter's going around the outside of Ellie down the Kimmel straight. And look at the amount of speed that Alpha has. Getting by the Ferrari quick and clean up into 9th place. Ellie looking to try and come back at it, though, into Sector 2. The very tight and windy bit. This is where if you took extra downforce, you're going to be making up a lot of the time compared to the people who might be on a dry setup with those very, very low wings for the most amount of top speed you can have. Very bad for wet conditions, considering the track, as the drivers have said, already is extremely slick. Arguably worthy of a red flag, but the FIA not putting that out just yet. It may get worse and we might see it, but as it stands right now, we have racing action. Finally, we have some racing action and not safety car action. If I had to watch another safety car, I was going to try to pull something out of the bag. Might have to pull out the some baked goods talk, as Donut Puncher does when there's a lull in the race. But we see now this group again is of 4 as Yen just loses out to Scarter. Has lost the rear end of the car coming through. I believe that is turn 14 or 15. I'm not too sure. I don't know the numbers of the corners at this point, as Silencer going to be the first of the lead crew to dive into the box for a new set of the extreme wet tire. Oh, excuse me. Full wet tires as Yen is just cutting the corner trying to go around Scarters, and he's spun. He's going backwards and he's hit the wall. Hopefully he didn't get damaged because he's got to complete a whole nother lap. The Mercedes looks mostly intact. Where is Silencer going to come out? He's going to be coming out in P7, so big advantage, and Silencer's jumped onto the intermediates. We were talking about who's going to be the first one to jump onto the intermediates. It's actually going to be Silencer taking the risk, and you can see even on our screen here, the rain definitely lightening up a little bit. So maybe it is time for intermediates. We might get lucky as we have cautions in Sector 1. I believe that is Yen again, and yes, Yen has crashed. He is out of the race. Unfortunate for him, was running up in the top 10 in the points, and he is now out of this race. But as I was saying, you can see the rain is definitely getting lighter. So Silencer may have made the big brain call of going to these inters at this time. The real question is just, was it the right time? Is it ready for inters? Is it still on for full wets? We'll watch the timing screen as KDM and Marzi seem to be battling it up here as Prem picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits. These two very close together. The net race leader at this point, I believe, would be Silencer, as nobody else is pitted so far. We'll see if these guys dive into the box for a set of those intermediates. Silencer, we're going to be watching his time there in P7 as he is just gaining and gaining and gaining, which makes me think it might be right around the time for intermediates. But as I say that, these two staying on the full wets. Silencer making up a good amount of time on those intermediate tires. He might have gotten the call just right. He may have, as he goes by Legacy Games, going into Legacy dove into the box, as does, I believe that is Prem. Yes, Prem dives into the box as well, along with the Ferrari of Ellie. So we will see what tires they go on to. Are they going to be going on to the intermediates, or are they going to be going on for another full wet set? And you can see green stripe for Legacy. What is it going to be for Prem? Ellie going on to the green set of inters. What is it going to be for Prem? It's also going to be the green striped intermediates. So this top 5 is going to have to be looking to make either some moves or just dive into the box for the intermediates. As TB1 man on the intermediates, that's the fastest lap at a 158.9. So track is definitely drying. We are definitely getting We're definitely at intermediate tires. Let's see who of the... Yes, the only people on intermediates are the bottom 10 or the bottom 6 drivers and Silencer running in P6, and he is absolutely gaining as we are riding on board with him now. You can just see how much more grip he has compared to all these other cars. He came out probably 10 seconds behind Dragons, and he's already caught him, and he's going to be making a move. Silencer is the net leader of this race once everybody else boxes, as we have an accident, and it's going to be Prem. That's going to be Prem. He just boxed for the new intermediates, and he is now missing every piece of that front wing of the Haas. Unfortunate for him, as he just went to what seems to be the correct tire for the moment. And we have a full safety car. We have a full safety car yet again. 10 laps into this race, and we've already had 3 safety cars. I may end up taking a nap waiting for the next one to pop, waiting for this one to go back in. I'm definitely going to give my voice a break, though. Whew. So while Silencer was charging with the full safety car in effect, going to be slowing down the field, Marzi may be able to at least retain top 3, or should be able to be P2, as Silencer is going to come out of the pits come out easily in P1. We'll see where Marzi comes out, and I'm sure, yes, everybody diving onto the green striped intermediate tires. Silencer retakes the lead of this race. Marzi going to be P2 ahead of KDM, ahead of Junior Correas, presumably. We will see as the race down pit lane. Yes. So it would be Silencer ahead of Marzi, ahead of KDM, Junior Correa, Bukowski, Dragons, Scarthers, and Ajax. Ajax and Crazy Carter actually still staying out on the extreme wets. No, Crazy Carter is in the pits. So Ajax is the lone individual on the track still on the full wet tires. Maybe wondering, is he just not happy with how the grip is? Is he seeing something we're not seeing? Or was it just a blunder to not take the pit under the safety car to get those intermediate tires on? What tires does Crazy Carter go to? Crazy Carter also throws on a set of the full wets. So Crazy Carter not agreeing with everybody else saying that this is intermediate conditions. He's sticking with the full wets. And he actually threw on a new set of the full wet tires. It seems as though the rain may have picked up a little bit again, but I'm not sure it's still a good idea to stay on the full wets at this point. Ajax still is the only driver on the field yet to stop. TV1 Man has made 3 stops. Prem has made 4. This is just showing the amount of carnage we've had. And my goodness. Crazy Carter taking a major gamble here with the new set of full wet tires when the entire grid around him has thrown on the intermediates. So maybe they're seeing something differently in the Williams garage compared to everybody else. But even his teammate Junior Correa threw on the intermediates. So maybe they're just trying it out with Crazy Carter. He's running just out of the points in P11. So maybe they're thinking with Junior Correa's track position, you can take the risk, and then if it works out, Crazy Carter will be running up in the points. Not necessarily sacrificing, but I feel like Junior Correa just has to. He has to go on to the intermediates to be able to match the cars around him if it does stay intermediate conditions. I'm still just bewildered at the fact that Crazy Carter went in and threw on the full wet, seeing everybody around him throwing on the intermediates. But again, I don't get to see the forecast. I don't get to see anything. I can just see how much it's raining on track. And that might have been a mistake from Crazy Carter as he is pulling into the pits again. And I'm sure we are going to be seeing a set of those green striped intermediates going on to his Williams. As yes, it will be a green set of the intermediates. So maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was a mistake, as a big mistake coming out of the pits as he almost spins his car completely around. That might have caused a red flag. It does seem like the rain is getting lighter. So hopefully we can stay green for another couple laps, as this race has just been riddled with safety cars. We're in the back half at this point. Silencer has led every lap besides 2 after he pitted for that new set of intermediates. He pitted on, I believe, lap 8. At the end of lap 8 into 9. And then was unfortunately hit with the safety car bug halfway through the next lap. I believe what caused it was Yen crashing out in the start of, or the end of the first corner, my apologies. So, we should be going green this lap. Everyone in the field on the intermediate tires, brand new intermediates besides Silencer, who's 3 laps old, besides Ajax. Ajax still has yet to pit, and he is still on the extreme wet tires. So he's really going to be struggling for grip coming off of the restart. We'll be keeping a close eye on him on the timing screen to see if he is able to maintain his position or if he's just going to drop right away, because being on that wrong set of tires, he's probably going to be losing anywhere between 2 to 4 seconds a lap, as I guess the FIA decides that we're going to have another lap of safety car action. So I spoke too soon. I thought we'd be going green this lap, but I guess we're going to have one more lap behind the safety car. Aye. As this race is just seemingly going from bad to worse, as Ajax finally, on the 3rd lap under safety car, dives into the box to get rid of those extreme wet tires and throw on a set of intermediates. The unfortunate thing for him, though, is he drops to the back of the field because he waited so long, and I thought I saw carbon fiber flying. I thought if we had collisions underneath the safety car, that would be even worse. So Ajax kind of having a bit of a blunder here, as he is the last to go on to those. He's the last to go on to the intermediate tires, and doing it on the last lap of the safety car, it threw everything away that he had worked for. He was running in P8. If he would have just boxed with the lead group, it may have been close to double stacking with his teammate, but I think he would have had just enough time to be able to get out without really losing much. So I wonder if there was maybe a miscommunication at AlphaTauri, or if he just decided I want to stay on full wets for this period, and now it's for sure intermediates. So he just dives in and says, I'll take the loss. Better to do it under the safety car than to do it under green flag conditions, where he would be sitting about 15 seconds behind everybody else, and his race would basically be over. I say that, but at this point, we'll go into turn 1, 3 cars will crash, and we'll be under safety car again, and I'll be sat here twiddling my thumbs, watching cars drive around in circles behind the safety car. Fun night of racing indeed, here in the Wednesday Throwdown F1 series. And if you're just tuning in and joining us, this is what it's looked like for probably about half of the laps ran so far. It's been lots of safety cars. We've had 3 full-on safety cars, no red flags yet, no virtual safety cars. Everything has been straight into the full safety car, and as the safety car is coming in this lap, we will work our way back up the field to ride along with Silencer, who will release the hounds for the 4th time this race. Waiting for the safety car to enter into the pits again. When will Silencer release them? When will he take off and make the mad dash for turn 1 and hopefully stay clear of any kind of incidents, taking it very wide like a quali start? And he might have got the jump on Marzi. He definitely did. Marzi crawling out of the final corner. Silencer getting an absolutely beautiful safety car restart. He's already got a 1.5 second advantage. And that might be just what the doctor ordered for Silencer on those older intermediate tires. Is KDM and Marzi going side by side out of turn 1. Marzi staying the better of KDM. Mikowski, Junior Correa, and Dragons battling behind them for 5th place, trying to keep up with Mikowski in 4th, and Junior Correa goes wide through over Ocean Radion, and he's going to be able to hold the car. We've seen a lot of people spinning out there, and as I'm waiting to see the yellow flags pop up in the top left corner, no. Everybody's staying on track for this point, so we're going to have more green flag action. Dragons down the inside of Mikowski going into Lecomte. Junior Correa almost coming into him. The Williams and the Alpine and the Mercedes tapping each other. And Dragons is going to be the worst for wear as he taps the wall, and he's going to lose 3, 4, 5 positions. TV one man back up in the top 10 as Scarthers just absolutely punts Legacy. Oh my goodness, Scarthers goes right into the rear of the Aston Martin, and the Aston Martin now running down in 15th place, dead last. Unfortunate for him, was running up in the points. TV one man back up into the top 7 as he's fought back from pitting, I believe now 4 times. Let's take a look at that. TV1 man 3 times. Sorry, Prem was the 4 stopper. But still, TV1 man looking to fight for points. That 1.5 second lead has remained 1.5 seconds for Silencer at the front of the field, riding along with KDM, trying to chase down Marzi. Marzi with a horrible safety car restart. Really trying to run away and get the hell away from KDM, who's shown he's probably running that higher downforce setup. Really having good traction coming through the tight corners that this track has to offer. And as I say this, Legacy and Ajax battling at the back of the field, fighting for that track position. Is Legacy gonna park it? No, he's not. He's gonna just hop back into the slipstream of Ajax. He may look for a move into Lecomte. He's got the ERS open. Silencer sets the fastest lap with a 156.565, and Legacy, just as he was last lap, he absolutely punts Ajax, and he's lost a bit of carbon fiber off that front wing. He's lost his front left wing end plate. So he's going to be crawling around the track to hopefully bring it back and get it into the pits, fix that front wing and keep going. And he's just pushing Ajax through the corner, just saying, "Excuse me, sir, I would like to go, even though I'm missing a piece of my front wing. I'm still fighting you." Oh, dear Lord, here we go. Into Eau Rouge. He tucks back in, and he's still pushing him, We're going to see a spin. We're going to see a spin. Who's going to spin? Who's going to tap? Who's going to touch? Is there just bumping, banging wheels? Ellie seems to have a problem as she's dropped a position. Prem with a nice move there. And Legacy is going to be able to get the move done on Ajax. Clean, tidy, and no more tapping and shenanigans. Let's ride along here with the TV1 man charging through the field. That gap now down to 0.4 of a second and falling. I say that, it goes right back up. But he is chasing down the Alpine of Dragons for P6. TV1 man looking to have a good finish after having an abysmal qualifying session, starting in last place. Hoping to put that Red Bull somewhere near the top 5 as King Hamilton picks up a time penalty. 3 seconds for multiple track limits. Seems to be the story of the game for the people that have penalties, I believe. Oh, TV1 man! Just as we were talking about how he was running so well, he loses it. Going into the final sector, he's missing all of his front wing, and that's pretty much his race over. Tough days here at Red Bull for TV1 man. He was running so well as Silencer sets the fastest lap of the race with a 155.972. But TV1 man was running so well, and all of a sudden, his race is just over. Missing a front wing. He might be having some, yeah, that's kind of what I expected. He may have been having some issues with his equipment, as his car just went hard right into the wall, going into the last long straight. We'll hop on board again with Silencer. We can ignore those yellow flags because it's just the AI-driven retired car, funnily enough. Silencer leads ahead of Marzi, KDM, and Bukowski. That has stayed the same. Junior Correa, Dragon, Scarthers, whom will most likely be picking up a penalty for punting Legacy. He's running in P7 as it stands. Prem behind him with a couple penalties. King Hamilton and Crazy Carter battling it into Lecomte. As it is now the 3 of them The lot of them. And THR Marzi, he picks up a 3-second time penalty. So second place with a 3-second penalty as King Hamilton and Crazy Carter going side by side into the long right-hander. And they're going to be able to keep it clean. But Legacy jumps on the opportunity and says, I'm going to take that place from you. Thank you very much. And then through No Name, he's going to be cleanly into 12th place, chasing down the McLaren of King Hamilton. Nice move there by Legacy. Saw Crazy Carter go just a tad wide as Legacy goes wide himself. And takes full advantage of that on the inside line. You can see he has surprisingly, he had a little bit better grip there on the 2-lap older intermediates. Hopping back up at the front of the grid as KDM and Marzi were having a very, very close fight into the bus stop. Keeping it tidy for now, though. KDM may be looking to make a move going into turn 1, though. As, you know, the straight line speed of that AlphaTauri, my goodness. He's able to just pull and run away down the straight, but it seems as though KDM is trying to get that back. May look for something out of Eau Rouge and Radeon. Down the Kemmel Straight. That's going to be the main place we're going to be seeing overtaking happen in these last 6 laps. Is he going to be able to get anything done flat through here? ERS on, as well as for Marzi. But you can see KDM has a much bigger ERS advantage over KDM has a bigger advantage over Marzi. KDM with 60%, Marzi with 30%. So if KDM is able to put that to his advantage, he will get by Marzi cleanly on the racetrack. Not even having to worry about that 3-second penalty, and that puts Bukowski on bar for a podium. If he's able to stay within the 3 seconds of Marzi and KDM's able to get by him. But looking at it right now as Dragon's making a move on Junior Correa. He's going to be able to get it done through No Name, but Junior Correa may be trying to come back at him, but he's not going to be able to get him down into the long, fast left-hander. Now that we've got green flag conditions, we've got racing action. We're seeing some overtakes, we're seeing some moves. People are staying clean mostly. And we're getting some good racing action. This is what we were looking for from the start, but instead we got plagued with crashes, cars in the air, and safety cars. Everybody's favorite thing in Formula One, watching cars drive slowly behind the safety car. That's what we build them for. Need a quick sip, my throat is going dry. All the yelling from all the insane situations that are going on. People crashing, spinning, wrecking under safety car. It's quite interesting. And Marzi starting to make a look at Silencer. Silencer's tires maybe starting to struggle a little bit. He is on those 2-lap older intermediates. He boxed the lap before the safety car came out. And you can just see how much more grip Marzi has on the exit of the corners as we go into Eau Rouge. Is he able to... Yes, he's able to stick to him like glue. Is he going to have a look down the Kemmel Straight? Silencer flooding the battery. Marzi flooding the battery. Is he going to be able to make a move into Lecomte? He's ahead of him. Are they going to touch? They're going to go side by side into Lecomte. Is he going to be able to make the move stick? Yes, he is. Marzi takes the lead on track, but he's lost it. He's lost it. He's spun. He's able to keep the car going, but that is so unfortunate for Marzi, who took the lead on Kemmel Straight, a la here comes Sebastian Vettel. But he lost it coming out of Lecomte. And that'll drop him into third, and Bukowski now is the one chomping at the bit to get on the rear wing of this AlphaTauri. 3-second time penalty for Marzi. Bukowski sees his podium in his sights. 5 laps to go. 4.5 at this point. Silencer back in the lead with KDM on his rear wing. And it's going to be the same situation again for Silencer. Silencer with those 2-lap older tires, much less ERS. KDM has 70% ERS. Silencer, 30. There's a 40% advantage for KDM in his Alpine. So we're really going to be seeing what he's going to be able to do with it. All he has to do is manage it well, and I don't think Silencer stand a chance. I think we might see a KDM on the top of the podium here. Oh, goodness me. As we have a caution in Sector 3, who is that? Is that Scarthers? That is Scarthers. And he's lost his front wing. He was having quite a nice race, and now it's over, because he's going to have to go in and get a new front wing. The lonely little point of the front piece of the Alfa Romeo, as he's going to have to crawl his car back to the pits and bolt on that new front wing and lose every ounce of track position that he had. Unfortunate for him. Let's hop back on board with KDM as he's going into Eau Rouge and Radion. This is where we saw Marzi overtake Silencer last lap and lose it in the Lecomte chicane. What is going to happen with KDM? Is he going to fall to the same fate? He's got the battery open, slipstream going, and here comes KDM around the outside going into Lecomte. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Is he going to lose the rear like Marzi did last lap? No, he seems to be holding it together quite nicely, and KDM is your new race leader. Silencer put up a fight, and you can see he's absolutely struggling with those intermediate tires. He is fighting the car on corner exit. And KDM is your race leader ahead of Silencer. Marzi trying to pull a gap away from Bukowski. Marzi with a 3-second penalty for track limits. That's not getting taken away. Bukowski trying to keep it within that to get himself in that Mercedes on the podium here in Spa. What a race we've had so far. The racing action the top 5 has given us has been quite good as we have yellow flags in sector 2. What is it? Oh, it's Z-Manners. Z-Manners in the Red Bull. He's gone off. He's gone off in no name. And now that's going to have Legacy Games chomping at the bit, trying to get onto the rear wing of that Red Bull as he knows he's going to be struggling on tires after already spinning. It just shows how wet this track still is. The amount of people that are having issues keeping their car going straight and really just showing what these intermediates can do, and maybe thinking, what if it stayed full wet? The track is definitely not wet enough for the full wet tires at this point, but it seems as though the intermediates might be struggling a little bit too. As we enter the final 3 laps of the race, KDM has pulled out a 2-second lead and climbing on Silencer. Silencer led most of this race, yes, while behind safety car, but has led most of this race. But at this point, if he's able to keep it clean, keep it tidy, KDM is going to be the winner here in the Alpine. But we'll see just what he's going to be able to do, as there are still 3 very wet laps of racing here around Spa. And we've seen plenty of people, even under safety car conditions, just losing the rear, spinning around, and losing places. So anything can happen at this point. Looking like it's going to be a great day for the Alpine team, with KDM currently on the cards to win, and his teammate Dragons in 5th place, so they're going to be getting some good points for the Constructors' Championship. Opening the standings, as it stands right now, Alpine is currently leading the Constructors' Championship with 56 points ahead of Haas with 47, Ferrari with 46, and Alfa Romeo in 4th with 42. So if they are able to hang on where they are now, Alpine is going to extend their advantage over Haas in the Constructors' Championship. At this point, they'll probably be somewhere around, if it stays where it is now, I believe they're going to have about a 18 or 20 point advantage in the Constructors. So really great race weekend here for the Alpine team if they're able to hold it together. As I say this, Silencer really trying to come back at him. Silencer's battling the car and battling everything just to try and get within that 1-second window of KDM. No DRS here as Legacy picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits. Silencer trying to make this a close one. Marzi at this point is not going to be able to get out of that 3-second window of Bukowski, so Bukowski going to be able to pick up the podium if he can keep it where it is on the road. Let's ride on board with the Mercedes of Bukowski going through Eau Rouge. And Radion down to the Kemmel Straight. Is he going to be able to catch up to Marzi? Is he going to be able to get him on the road and really put Marzi on the back foot, drop him even more? We will see. It doesn't seem to have the straight line speed in that Mercedes. I believe we've seen that he is one of the ones running one of those higher downforce setups. This car isn't really dancing too much going through the corners. He's able to hold it pretty tidy. But that gap just staying around 0.6, 0.7 between both Marzi and Bukowski and Dragons. Dragons trying to jump up and make some places up and really get himself and his team the max amount of points he can this weekend. With KDM currently on to win, with just under 1.5 laps left to go. Dragon's looking to try and hold on to this position he's in, because currently with Marzi's time penalty, he will finish in fourth, my apologies. Great points for the Alpine team, and that's really what they're looking for, to extend that lead in the Constructors' Championship. And now with a 1 second gap between the two of them, KDM and Silencer. Let's hop on board here with the Haas of Silencer as we go into the bus stop chicane for the final lap of this race. Is it gonna be KDM? Is it gonna be Silencer? Are we gonna have some crazy action and then come together, or something of that nature? Who knows? But it's the final lap of this race as KDM crosses the line. Here we go. Gap down to 1.2 seconds. Silencer with no ERS left. KDM sitting on a comfortable 50%. In terms of battery, KDM has a massive advantage over Silencer, and I think he might be starting to feel that, as KDM burned quite a lot, and he's going to be burning it coming out of Radion down the Kemmel Straight, as Marzi picks up another 3-second penalty. What was bad has just gotten worse, and that opens the door now for Dragons coming down Kemmel Straight. Is he going to be able to make a move on Bukowski? Down the outside, the two come together, and Bukowski's been tapped. Bukowski's been hit by Dragons. And at this moment, Dragons is going to be on for a podium. It's looking like an Alpine 1-3. Bukowski, who is running so well in 4th place. He was sitting there for so long, and it's all come crashing down on the last lap of the race through the Lecomte chicane. Unfortunate there on the Mercedes pit wall, as Toto's already calling the Michael Massey for a penalty on the Alpine. But we move forward to the other Alpine. Still a 1 second advantage over Silencer. That 1 second is falling, but you can see KDM has a massive ERS advantage, and he's going to drain it all here on the final straight. The gap just continuing to build. He's got the bus stop chicane to handle, and it will be his victory. He was seeing the rear wing of the Haas for most of the race and most of the time behind the safety car, but he is going to prevail on this day here in Spa. KDM comes across the line. He will win the Belgian Grand Prix. Silencer comes home in 2nd. Marzi will finish 3rd on the track, but Dragons in the Alpine finishes out the podium. Bukowski in 4th after having that incident with Dragons going through Lecomte. Marzi finishes in 5th with Junior Correa in 6th. Prem's Haas coming home in 7th. Next across the line will be Ellie's Ferrari coming home in 8th. Nice race from her. She started in P18 as we watch her cross the line. Legacy, who had an issue earlier and then going together with Scarters, comes across the line in P9. And Z-Manners will finish P10 on track, but P9 as Legacy had those penalties. And then Crazy Carter gonna get King Hamilton on the front straight for P11. What a Belgian Grand Prix this was. TV one-man driver of the day, even though he didn't even finish the race. He was running a great race, but the great race was ran, and KDM is going to be your winner ahead of Silencer, who led for so long. But KDM made the most of his ERS advantage and was able to take the win. Silencer in 2nd, and KDM's teammate, Dragons, finishing in 3rd, rounding out the podium. What a night, what a race here in Spa. Big weekend for the Alpine team, as they are going to extend their championship lead by a good margin. What a race. Plagued with safety cars, crashes, and the like. But, run through the order one more time. KDM wins the race ahead of Silencer, who gets the fastest lap point. Dragons rounding out the podium in third for Alpine, a good 1-3 for them. Bukowski, unfortunate for him and Lecomte that he's going to lose out on that podium, but P4 for him. Marzi dropping from P3 on track to P5 with those time penalties for track limits. Junior Correa in 6th, Prem in 7th, Ellie in 8th, Z-Manners in 9th, and then rounding out the top 10 is Legacy. As I take a quick look at the... You can just see how many incidents there really were just scrolling through the race director here. My goodness. But that has been Wednesday Throwdown F1 presents the Belgian Grand Prix, plagued with safety cars, rain, and lots of hot racing action. Next showing will be Formula Worldwide Leagues presents Friday Night Lights. Right here. This Friday night around, I believe it is Austria. Let me double check that for you in one moment. Yes, this Friday at 11 p.m. Your Friday Night Lights grid will be racing around the Austrian Grand Prix. And Red Bull Ring. Will Sketchy Bull and his Red Bull be able to take down the likes of reserve driver Deffy with ridiculous pace if he is in there? Gifted has won the last 2. Is he going to be able to maintain his championship lead? Who knows? Join us on Friday night for Friday Night Lights. And Formula Worldwide Leagues presents the Friday Night Lights series around Austria. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a great night and get home safely.